What is up, guys? Right now, today will be the third day of the season for the college baseball season. This is the second video of this series where we're early on in the college baseball season for 2023. We're going to be predicting college baseball schedules. All right, I got a request in the comments for South Carolina. Also, if you go check out our first video of this series, we had some involvement with them, which we ended with. So we'll just go ahead and we'll do them, because I think if y'all go watch that video, you'll know kind of where they're probably going to go in this video at the minimum. All right. So yesterday, they're playing a team from Massachusetts, UMass Lowell. They're obviously not going to be good. That's why they lost 23 on Friday and 17-1 yesterday. They probably haven't practiced outside. So, one thing I do know about South Carolina, I know they have a lot of transfers that have come in. I know they have a lot of graduate transfers. And, because in the SEC, obviously, I follow most of the teams in the SEC because I'm a Florida fan. And they have a lot of pitching depth. So, that's one thing to keep your eye out for. Even for a team that hasn't practiced outside all year, 3 runs and 1 run is very good. All right. Because one thing they can practice is pitching inside. Obviously, maybe they can't do pitching versus hitting live the whole time. But, I mean, they can still practice it, you know. Let's see, today at 1:30, right now it's about 10 o'clock. This video will come out after 10 o'clock. It's 10 a.m. At 1:30 p.m., they play UMass Lowell again. So they've already won the series. Go ahead and give them another win. Winthrop, I mean, the way they play UMass Lowell, I know they've dominated Winthrop in the past. Again, just being an SEC fan. So Queens, never heard of them. It's a home game. Give me South Carolina. Penn, I know last year I was watching. It was the second week of the college baseball season. Texas A&M went to the College World Series. Penn played them. Penn won the Friday game. I think they lost Saturday and Sunday, or maybe they won the series. I think they did win the series. But the fact that they won one of those games as an Ivy League school versus a team that went to the College World Series, obviously as a team, you're still trying to figure things out early in the season. So that's one thing for Texas A&M. But, this is a team that's practiced up north. Again, hasn't practiced outside all year. And you're down in Texas, where it's probably 70 degrees while it's negative 20 degrees in Pennsylvania. So, right here, again, I know South Carolina has a lot of pitching depth. So, give me South Carolina. Give me, again, this is not going to be maybe it'll be a little cold for South Carolina, obviously, South Carolina weather. This will feel hot for the University of Penn. I'll take South Carolina again, and I'll take the 1-run upset. Penn wins it by 1 run on Sunday. So South Carolina so far only has 1 loss. North Carolina A&T. I guess I'll take South Carolina, another home game. This is the series where, they play 1 game at Clemson, 1 game in Columbia, and 1, I think it's a neutral site game. Clemson does not look good this year. They lost their head coach who went to South Carolina. They lost about 4 transfers who went to South Carolina. All right, the head coach for Clemson went to be the hitting coach at South Carolina. So all that is basically at South Carolina. They won by 1 run. Clemson won by 1 run to a small school yesterday. Give me South Carolina. Give me South Carolina again. And give me South Carolina again at home to finish things off this week. All right, Citadel. Citadel always puts up a fight, I'm not going to lie. But give me South Carolina again, that pitching depth, just telling you. They had 6 guys who were competing for 4 to 5 spots for being a starting pitcher. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. So that it's really only 4 because, Florida, like here you see this is a week where they play Tuesday, Wednesday midweek games. Most of the time, looking at the schedule before I started making this video, South Carolina does not do Tuesday, Wednesday games. Florida does that about every week. So if I make that Florida video, you'll find out that, okay. But, I mean, the fact that they have 6 guys competing for 4 to 5 spots, that's pretty good. All right, and then you see the game after the next day. Again, now this one is in Greenville. I don't know if this is at USC or I think that's, yeah, USC Upstate. I don't know if that's in Greenville, South Carolina, or if it's in Columbia, South Carolina. It says Greenville, but I don't know if that's where USC Upstate is. Give me South Carolina again, just that pitching depth. But then I feel like, you know, you've lost a lot of bullpen, maybe a couple close games. Upset Friday, Bethune Cookman has played Florida in the regionals a couple times. They've played them in midweek games a couple times. They're always a competitor. Give me them Friday on the upset. Give me South Carolina the next day coming back strong. And then give me Bethune Cookman again. All right, they won the series. They won Friday and Sunday. Just, you know, I feel like maybe South Carolina, they don't play that 2 midweek games that often. Maybe they burn through their bullpen depth a little too much. And Bethune Cookman wins. All right, so then we're about to get into SEC play. Last game before Presbyterian at home. They're going to have a couple days off, you know, Sunday. They'll have... really, actually, only Monday. But I think they're going to, you know, they're going to take it lightly. Presbyterian, I don't think they're going to do much. So give me South Carolina. Presbyterian's always been good. They made the NCAA tournament a couple years ago. All right, Georgia, they were good last year. I know they lost a lot of pitching depth. I know they lost some offensive keys. I know they had a lot of graduate transfers who just came in to go all out, and I think they only made it to the regionals. Give me South Carolina. South Carolina again, and Georgia by 1 in the final game. So South Carolina wins this series 2-1 and only loses the last game by 1. I know Georgia had a lot of pieces that they lost. All right, Charlotte, they're going to come back even after 1 loss. They're going to have some momentum. They're going to win that. Missouri's looking really good this year. I know Oklahoma State's the number 9 team in the country. I know they only lost them by a couple yesterday, and they beat Texas, or no, Friday, I mean. And then they beat Texas yesterday. But give me South Carolina Friday. Give me Missouri Saturday and Sunday. All right. And right now, if you watched the last video, what this team is looking like right now does not look like what it's going to be. I'll just give you a hint. Go back and watch the other video after you watch this one. I'm just going to throw this out in the middle of the video. Please like and subscribe, you know? Help us out. Make better content, but I love this. I'm a college baseball kind of guy, so, you know. Citadel again. This one's in Citadel. You know, coming off those 2 losses to Missouri, maybe lose a little momentum, maybe lose a little offense, maybe lose a little pitching. Give me Citadel. Mississippi State, a team that, you know, won the national championship 2 years ago, looked terrible last year. They're not ranked this year. Obviously, again, you can't base any team off of 2 games, especially off of their competitors. Give me Mississippi. Oh, this is a Thursday series. Okay, Mississippi State lost some talent pitching-wise, but I'm going to take Mississippi State on Thursday, and I'm going to take South Carolina Friday and Saturday, because this is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So give me South Carolina loses Thursday, and then they win the next 2 games. All right. Then you get a little break. They come out hot versus a North Carolina team that hasn't looked good through 2 games this year. Give me South Carolina again. Then you got LSU, another Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. This one in Columbia. I know LSU is the number 1 team in the country. They only won by like 1 or 2 yesterday to a small school. Again, as I said, you cannot base any team off of 2 games. And today, what would be 3? So, but give me South Carolina. I think they go all out games 1 and 2. They get the win and then get dominated in game 3, but they're just happy to get that game 1 and 2 win. All right, again, you got another, you know, a couple extra day of rest. They tear up USC Upstate, and then they go to Nashville to play Vanderbilt. I think think they'll probably, really the only guy they have is Enrique Bradfield. I feel like they don't really have anybody else, that I know about. He just got his speed. Every once in a while, he'll pull out that bat and push it out of the park. But other than that, I don't know. I think South Carolina could keep up. I know Vanderbilt lost a lot of pieces. I do know that for sure. Pitching-wise, I'm not sure. I know, obviously, a couple years ago they lost Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker. But other than that, I think their pitching was pretty good last year. Give me South Carolina Game 1. Give me South Carolina Game 2. And then again, give me Vanderbilt Game 3. So that's a good start. Florida played this Charleston Southern team. Oh, funny. Florida's playing Charleston Southern this weekend, and then they play Florida after that. Charleston Southern versus South Carolina. Charleston Southern looked good for a team that's obviously gotten to practice outside. They got mercy ruled because it's like a 10-run rule. I don't know why South Carolina didn't use it in their games yesterday and Friday, but it's something the SEC is doing. Florida used it, so it doesn't look like their wins are dominating, but they beat Charleston Southern by 10 runs in 7 innings. It's like the 10-run rule. I don't know. Actually, yesterday we scored 14 runs because we got all of that in the 6th. Not all of it, but I'm talking about. So that was all before the 7th, so then we closed it out in the top 7th. So we're 2-0 also, number 7 team in the country. I think this will be a close game. I think they're coming off a good series versus Vanderbilt. Give me South Carolina. My Gators versus South Carolina in Columbia. This is probably going to be a top 25 matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if top 20, top 15. This is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Give me Florida Game 1. Give me Florida Game 2. Give me South Carolina Game 3. I know we have a lot of pitching depth and offense too. I know about South Carolina's pitching depth. I haven't really looked at it all that much. I know they got a pitcher from Notre Dame last year when Notre Dame went to the College World Series, who's actually from Columbia. Well, he's from New York, and then something. I watch his YouTube channel. It's Roman Kimball. He tore his elbow or whatever. He has Tommy John. So he is out for the season, but he's coming back next season for South Carolina. I only know that because I watch his channel. So give me Florida Game 1. I know they have a lot of pitching depth. Game 2, give me Florida again. So I think these are gonna be 2 close games. I'm not sure because they both have really good offenses and they both have really good pitching depth. So I don't know how it's going to be. Maybe it'll just be a medium, like a 6-5, 4-5, maybe like a 7-5, something like that. I think Florida takes Game 1 and Game 2, and I think South Carolina comes out with a close win in Columbia for Game 3. All right, so that's good for them, Auburn's looked shaky so far through 2 games. Again, you can't judge anybody by 2 games. This one is in Columbia again. Oh, yeah, South Carolina, no midweek, which is shocking because it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So I don't know. So they come back to Columbia to play the next week to play Auburn, and I think they have a lot of rest. They've rested a lot. They don't have to go all out. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, I don't know how I got back to the top. I think they go all out games. Wait, what was I saying? Okay, so they don't go all out because they had that time to rest their pitchers. They get game 1 and 2 easily, and they barely lose game 3 to Auburn's offense, which I know has a lot of guys that I think have come back. And then they go a Wednesday game. So they've had a lot of breaks, but then things are going to get close. A Wednesday game, then back to a Friday game, which is so you would play in, Rock Hill, South Carolina. probably come back to Columbia for a day. Actually, you probably go back to Columbia that night. And then Thursday morning or afternoon, you go to Lexington, Kentucky. So then they play, I don't know. I'm not their scheduler. So then I think they sweep Kentucky. That's a no-brainer. They play North Florida. I think they beat them too. Then you play Arkansas. Because Kentucky lost to Elon. I have no idea who they are, but on a Friday. Which SEC Friday starters should be really good. And Saturday and Sunday too. Obviously, Sunday's not going to be as good as Saturday and Friday. But the fact that you lost on a Friday game to a team named Elon, I have no idea where they are. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, I know they had a terrible team last year and still made a deep run in the SEC tournament, but, like, you can't lose that type of game. I think they beat North Florida handily. That's a Tuesday game, so then they travel to Fayetteville. I think they take game one. Honestly, Arkansas has not looked good at it. I think they lost to, like, TCU yesterday, like, 15-5 or 18-5. Or maybe it was, like, 18-6. I don't know. Give me South Carolina game one, and South Carolina barely wins in game two. Arkansas wins on a walk-off home run in game three. Then you play Charlotte. I think you beat them. Got a lot of momentum from beating Arkansas in that series. Then you go to Tennessee, and I think it's a no-brainer. Tennessee's look terrible. I think they... you don't go to Tennessee. You're at home. Thursday series, you beat Tennessee game one. You lose to Tennessee game two. They still have some pitching depth. You beat Tennessee in game three. It's a no-brainer. Tennessee has looked terrible this year. Terrible. They lost their first two games to unranked opponents, and they're the number 2 team in the country. You cannot do that. They're going to be down to like 15, maybe lower. You can't do that. South Carolina takes that series too. 2-1. Then you go to the SEC tournament. I think they win games 1, 2, and 3, and then they lose, so they get knocked out. Now, I think they host a regional. I think they'll be like I think they'll be a low, like, they'll be a number 1 seed, so they'll host a regional. Obviously, they have one of the nicer parks in the country from what I've heard. So, I think they'll host a regional. They'll win it. So, I think they'll be like there's, how do I explain this? There's seeds 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So, there's 16 spots for each seed. I think they'll be like, if you're number 1 seed and you're number 1, you're like the top team in the country. If you're a number 4 seed and you're number 16, you're the last team in. So I think they're going to be like number 16 and the number 1 seed spot. Okay, so they'll host a regional in Columbia. I think they're going to win that easily. And then I think they're going to go to the Supers. If you watch my last video, I guess I'll just have to tell you, but please go back, watch that video, like that video. They play Virginia in the Super Regionals, a Virginia team that's really good. It's Charlottesville Super Regional. So it's at Virginia. South Carolina takes game 1. South Carolina loses game 2, but they take game 3, and they're going to the College World Series. Now, if you are a South Carolina fan, I'm a Florida fan, but I do know because it was a competitive regional a couple years ago. The year Virginia went to the, if you're a Carolina fan, you probably know this. Again, I'm a Florida fan, but I still watch it because it was a competitive regional, and Florida got knocked out early, so in our own regional, it was embarrassing. So, it was their own regional, but they were the number 2 seed, just because it's a nice campus and all that. So, that's the whole thing. I got confused by it, but I looked it up, and it was all good. So, they were the number 2 seed today. Virginia was the number 3 seed. They played Virginia the first game. They won. Yeah, they won by, 1. Then they lost game 2 to the number 1 seed. Old Dominion, and then they lost again because Virginia lost, and then they had to play another loser. The winner of that played the loser of Old Dominion, South Carolina. South Carolina was the loser. Then Virginia, South Carolina played. Whoever won that moved on. Whoever lost was done for the season. Virginia won, so South Carolina was out for the season. This is the South Carolina Super Regional. So, and then Virginia eventually, they had to beat Old Dominion twice, which they did. And then they played 3 games versus Dallas Baptist. I think that was the team. And they went to the College World Series. I remember watching. It was a competitive 3-game series in the Super Regionals. So I think they go to the College World Series. I think they take a break. I think they win game 1. I think Gamecock fans are going to be pumped. Their athletics have been doing great lately. And I think this baseball program is going to start going up. They're a really good women's basketball team. The only undefeated team in the country so far. Probably going to win another national championship. Their football team, upset Tennessee at home. They upset Clemson at Clemson. And the refs stole the game from them in that Gator Bowl versus Notre Dame. They stole the game from them. But I think to go to the College World Series, I think they win game 1. I think the other team's just going to be, College World Series, 8 best teams in the country. I think the other team's just going to be too good for them. I think they're going to lose that, and I think they're going to lose again. But, the fact that they made that run to the College World Series, that's awesome. I personally think that's the farthest they're going to go. I definitely would not be surprised if they win it all. They're a really good team. Got a lot of pitching depth, all right? They got a lot of hitting depth. They got, the one thing you want on a team is depth in every position. That's something that Florida has, and that's why I think they're going to go far. Teams that have a lot of players that are good in a lot of positions, that makes you better. That's why you want these type of games early on, because you get to try that stuff out. Obviously, you're not playing SEC competition, but you get to see who's really legit, who can compete. So, I'm excited about the SEC this year. I think it's going to be a really good conference, like it always is in every sport every year. You cannot argue with me about that. ACC is always good, too. Shout out to them. Virginia, obviously, they were in our last video. Go check that video out. Please like that. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.